ICE arrests nearly 500 nationwide immigration crackdown that includes Illinois. You've got all these big blue states going, oh, we're not cooperating with ICE. We're not going to allow ICE come in and take the illegal alien. We're using that word now. Alien is back. Illegal aliens that are criminals, that have committed criminal acts in the United States while they shouldn't be here. We're not going to allow them to get arrested and scooped up by ICE. Why are these states so hell-bent on retaining criminal illegal aliens in the midst of their constituents? Why is that a thing? Why are they so misguided? Let's get into it. Here we go.
Governor J.B. Pritzker and Mayor Brandon Johnson showing a
Let's go, Brandon.
unified front today in response to President Trump's executive orders targeting undocumented immigrants.
They took questions during a small business grant announcement. Our Jewel Hillary was there live on the West Side with more on this. Jewel?
Hi, good afternoon, you all. During his remarks, Governor Pritzker frankly shared that he doesn't have any update on potential federal raids on undocumented immigrants here in the state of Illinois.
The federal government has not communicated with the state of Illinois. That is...
Yo, JB, we're going to send in a bunch of troops and we're going to go here, we're going to go here, we're going to go here. Here's a handful of addresses that we're going to go to. And this is a state that has said we are not cooperating with ICE. Why would the federal government tell them, give them a heads up? That's like cops going on somebody with an outstanding warrant, telling that person, hey, we're going to be at your house at 6 a.m. on Friday. Would you make sure to be there? Could you make this easy for us? And could you just be there? These guys are so it boggles the mind where, why is there no cooperation? Why haven't they communicated with us? Because you have communicated, you will not cooperate with them, genius. So,
an indication to all of you that it's all about chaos and confusion. It is not about
No, it's about scooping up criminal, illegal aliens that have committed crimes in the United States, maybe back home, maybe they're wanted on murder, maybe they're wanted for rape of a child. How many cases of those we had? They're wanted for criminal activity. They're not the people that are, at their kids' soccer games after work when they've worked a 12-hour shift. That's not who we're going after here.
accomplishing something.
Los Angeles has
President Trump's campaign promise to deport millions and millions of immigrants is a major concern for many in Chicago, which Trump's borders are. Tom Homan has called ground zero for mass deportations. During a talk show Wednesday, Homan said 308 immigrants had been taken into custody. Some of those arrests, a source tells us, were in Chicago. Governor Pritzker has said that there is a long-standing policy in the U.S. to deport undocumented immigrants who have committed violent crimes. He says deporting law-abiding immigrants who work and contribute to the economy causes more harm than good.
I would agree with that. Tom Homan would agree with that. President Trump would agree with that. That's why they're not going after those folks. They're going after the criminal, illegal aliens.
During his comments, Mayor Johnson addressed one of the president's executive orders allowing immigration arrests to be made in historically safe places like churches and schools.
We're going to protect the residents and the people of the city of Chicago as a welcome.
By allowing criminal, illegal aliens that have committed crimes to still run around your community. Folks in Chicago, how is that helping you? How is that helping you? This is Let's Go Brandon Johnson's. This is his war cry. We're not going to allow them to come in and scoop up the criminals within our community. Huh. Does that make any sense to you? It makes no sense to me either, but this is what Democrats have to say. And if you do anything against that whole mantra, look at Eric Adams, got indicted, right? He's been, hey, I need some help here. I have just got criminals out the ass here in New York City. And without allowing ICE to come in and scoop up the criminals that we need to, he's got his hands full. And for saying that, for coming out and saying that as mayor of the city of New York, he literally got indicted. He was told, you need to shut up and be a good Democrat. And he's got a background in law, and he just went, got to do something here.
Welcoming city as a sanctuary state, our welcoming city ordinance, alongside of the complementary law of the Illinois Trust Act, is full demonstration of our commitment to protect the residents of this city.
If you're enjoying this content, you'd like to support the channel, consider a subscription to reasonabletv.com. We've got at least a couple of videos that come out each week that you won't see anywhere else. Here's an example. This is the member content only. New York City subway robbery turns into deadly fight. You had a guy who was getting basically mugged on the New York City subway, and he killed 2 of the robbers. Yeah, you're not hearing about that on mainstream media, are you? No. Here's another one. Pimp shootout. This was in Seattle. Pimp shootout. Uber hero saves trafficked woman. We've got all kinds of pimp shootings, violent stabbings, you name it here in Seattle. You want to check that out? You're not going to see it anywhere else. It's going to cost you $3.99 a month. Get a 14-day free subscription. Thanks in advance. From illegals committing crimes. Oh, wait, no, that's who ICE is going after. And you are literally trying to protect criminals that are already in your community. Make that make sense. You know what I mean? Make that make sense. It's mind boggling that these people have their heads so far up their ass. I mean, you just read this and go, what's wrong with you? What is the mental illness that you contracted where you think this way? Federal immigration agents conducted the first large-scale arrest operation under the Trump administration, resulting in nearly 500 arrests. That is not a crazy number, but it's a start. You chunk away at that every single day, you betcha. According to U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, the agency reported more than 460 arrests in a time period spanning Tuesday to Wednesday. All right, well done, boys and girls. In a nationwide effort that included Illinois, Utah, California, Minnesota, New York, Florida, and Maryland. All right, doing work. Those arrested had criminal histories, including sexual assault, robbery, drug, weapons charges, domestic violence. So JB and let's go Brandon, you guys are literally wanting to protect criminal illegal aliens that have raped people, that have robbed from your own communities, drug and weapons charges. They're selling drugs. They're probably got stolen guns, maybe shooting somebody, who knows, and domestic violence. People that are beating on one another that are illegal in the country. Why would you want to keep them here? Why would you want to protect them? That is an amazing question, isn't it? ICE also issued 420 detainer requests, which request that jails notify ICE when undocumented individuals are released from custody. Yo, give us a heads up. We'll come in. We'll take care of them. We're your man or woman. Right out of the gate, it's public safety threats. Those who are in the country illegally that have been convicted, arrested for serious crime. Trump's border czar, Tom Homan, said to Fox News, that is what the Democrats, here's what the Democrats do when they hear that part. La, 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 I'm not listening. La, 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 la. Let's protect our community from these vicious ICE deportations. Right? Let me be clear. There's not only public safety threats that will be arrested, because in sanctuary cities, we're not going to get that. We're not allowed to get that public safety threat into jail, which means when we go to the neighborhood and find them. Right. So let's talk about that for just 1 second. I need to get out my little yellow guy here, my favorite yellow friend. Oh, that didn't come out right, did it? No. Talking about cursor. That's what we're talking about here. Talking about a cursor. So if ICE isn't allowed to go into the jail system because local law, like in New York City, local law prevents their police force from turning those folks over to ICE because they're a sanctuary city. So now ICE, those folks get out of jail. Those folks go into the community. So now ICE goes into the community. So you guys are basically just pulling out a revolver and shooting yourself in the foot because there's going to be some other people that are illegal that are going to get caught up in those raids as well. So how's that working out for you? How's that misguided compassion working out? Not all that great. I mean, it's just, it's a disease, isn't it? Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker said Tuesday that about 2,000 immigrants could be deported from the Chicago area. Well, if they've committed crimes like what Tom Homan's going after, then they should be deported, correct? I mean, am I correct in saying that? Or do we just hide them and just pretend that they're not criminals, that they're really good people? Maybe they have a future in front of them. Nah. Deport them. And this is what should have been going on for the last 4 years, but it wasn't. The opposite was happening. Hey, criminals, come on in. Criminals, come on in. Criminals, come on in. Can we give you a ride? Can we give you taxi service? Can we give you Uber service? Where would you like to go? Chicago? New York City? Denver? But at a small business grant announcement on Chicago's West Side on Thursday, the governor said he knows of no specific plans. So what he's doing is he's saying, well, they could be deported. Well, because they're criminals. They're criminals. Federal government has not communicated with the state of Illinois. Why would they? This is an indication to all of you that it's all about chaos and confusion. That is absolute nonsense. It's just nonsense. And everybody knows it. Well, maybe the folks in Chicago don't because you guys keep voting blue. And how's that working out for you? How's that working out for you? And it's not about accomplishing something. Well, actually, it is about accomplishing something. It's about kicking out of the country convicted criminals that are illegal aliens. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And not necessarily just convicted criminals, just, folks that shouldn't be there that are on the deport list. The list just goes on and on and on. But more importantly, right now, the focus is on criminals. But big blue states, big blue cities, they just want to protect them because they love a good criminal. Love a good criminal. Pritzker has publicly vowed to fight back against Trump's sweeping immigration initiative. However, the governor stressed, here's the double speak that just gets me every time. If there are violent criminals who have been convicted of crimes who are undocumented, they are supposed to be deported. I don't want them in my state. Well, wake up, genius. That's who they're going after. So where's the disconnect? Where is your disconnect? Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson, let's go Brandon, said city ordinance and state law will help protect from federal overreach. Yep, and it's going to have the opposite impact. More people are going to get deported because ICE is just going to be rooting around in the community instead of just going to pick up at the jail or the prison or whatever it is. Instead of doing that, got to go into the community. So how's that going to work out for you? I'm no genius. I'm a real estate guy, but I'm going to say based on what you're concerned with, which is more people being deported. Yeah, this is going to have the opposite impact of what you're hoping. We're going to protect them. And you just get more people deported. We're going to protect the residents and the people of the city of Chicago, by harboring known criminal illegal aliens. That's how you protect your residents and people of the city of Chicago? All right. As a welcoming city, as a sanctuary state, our welcoming city ordinance alongside of the complementary law of the Illinois Trust Act is full demonstration of our commitment to protect the residents of this city. How many $1 million did you guys spend harboring all of the illegals? How many millions and millions and millions of dollars did you spend? 573 million, I believe, is the number that comes to mind over XYZ period. And then how upside down is your budget? How much is your budget in the negative? Yeah. Do you think there might be a correlation there? Geniuses in Illinois? Do you think there might be a correlation? I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. But if you wouldn't have spent that money on the illegals and you done what Texas does and what Florida does, I'm just saying, yeah. The Trust Act was passed in 2017. It says that local law enforcement in Illinois does not detain people based on immigration status, nor inquire about it, with the goal of prioritizing public safety and trust. So harboring known criminals is somehow prioritizing public safety and trust. Make that make sense. Justice Department has directed federal prosecutors to investigate state or local officials who stand in the way of the enforcement of immigration laws. What a tug of war, which goes right to here. Justice Department threatening to prosecute state, local officials who resist Trump agenda. 100%. I think that should be a thing. If you are preventing ICE from doing their job, which is deporting the bad men, the bad women from the United States that are a known bad man or bad woman quantity, it's like harboring a fugitive. It's literally harboring a fugitive. What's the criminal penalty for that? Yeah, is it a misdemeanor? Probably not, right? Justice Department's new leadership directed prosecutors and law enforcement across the country to focus on enacting President Trump's immigration policies, said that they potentially charge state or local officials who impede their efforts. It's a memo went out a couple of days ago, obtained by CBS News. The Supremacy Clause and other authorities require state and local actors to comply with the executive branch immigration enforcement initiatives. Federal law prohibits state and local actors from resisting, obstructing, and otherwise failing to comply with lawful immigration-related commands and requests. Are we going to see Let's Go Brandon Johnson arrested? J.B. Pritzker, is he going to get arrested? No. This is a political battle, right? This is a straight up political battle. You've got warring factions. You've got the Democrats who love criminals. They just love criminals. They love to give them shorter sentences. They love to not prosecute them, all based on, we're helping out humanity here. I mean, just these massively misguided notions. And this is another prime example of exactly that being said. So all of these stories are being run right now of these poor people crying that they can't get into the country. Well, you left it to the last minute. Trump decimated the CBP One app. He just said, boop, nope, we're not doing that anymore. He's continue building the wall. He's going to cut back on the whole parole policy that's been abused for the last 4 years. And he's going to reinstate the Remain in Mexico until you've got your hearing and we vetted you just a little bit more. He's going to, put that back into place. All of these things have created a wide open southern border and just drugs flowing in, human trafficking, sex trafficking, you name it. I mean, we've all seen those stories, but what you're going to see on mainstream media is the illegal aliens crying that they can't get into the country. Hey, I get it. You've struggled. You spent months trying to get from point A to point B. But at some point in time, that gate closes, and that gate closed on January 20th. That was Monday of this week. So now you're going to have all these news stories. I don't know what I'm going to do. Well, unfortunately for those illegals caught up in this mess, you guys are collateral damage. And you're going to have a bunch of that. And a bunch of you are going to get deported. If you don't have the, legal right to stay in the United States, you should be worried. You should be worried because you got to have laws. You can't just allow everybody to just flow into a country and go, hey, this should work out great. This should be fine. That's not how this works. Otherwise, hey, let's just eliminate all the borders. Let's just get rid of all the borders. How do other countries handle this? How do other countries that are well managed handle this? They don't just allow people into the country willy-nilly without a vetting process. I mean, look at Australia's policy. They don't even let people onto the island, do they? Keep them offshore. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty simple, but we've got just a bunch of people who are upset that Kamala Harris didn't win. They're really pissed that Trump won. They love criminals. They love defending criminals, and they love criminals that are illegal aliens. So they want to help them out with this uber misguided compassion. And it's going to have the exact opposite impact, meaning by not cooperating with ICE, yeah, their local officials could be arrested. And there's probably going to be more people impacted from the standpoint of they're not just going to the jails. They're not just going to the prisons. They're going wherever those folks are, including churches, schools, communities, wherever, because that's how you get the bad guys. Period. It's not that hard to figure out. Even a real estate guy from Seattle can figure this out, right? I mean, anything else that you say in relation to that, you're just a bleeding heart and you don't really understand the full complexity of this. Have you been to the southern border? Go to the southern border, come back and tell me what you think. All right. That's it for me on this one. Thanks so much for being here. I'll catch up with you in the next one. Bye for now.